Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Leo. I'm a wannabe artist, and I want to take you through a little journey on this sketchbook. Let's go. I call this Chaos. This is my son, actually. He sketched that. This first page, I bought some alcohol markers. As I was using them over here, I noticed that the cap did not match the color, so I made a swatch just so I know if I need this peach looking color, what number it is. Here I have, I think this is the outside of a Pollo Loco, and I was just practicing some figures, just some shapes. Just practicing shapes and shading them in some way. More shapes. My son's toys. There's like a little llama that he climbs and bounces on. It's in his little balancing bike. And a toaster. Look at that. Toaster. Here's a window. I think this is a martini glass. I'm not sure. I don't know what that is, actually. Some tree shapes, a cube, a sphere with, obviously showing what it would look like inside, I guess. This was an exercise I saw somebody do where they were drawing squares and rectangles and just drawing them in different sizes, just so you can get, you're used to drawing that. And then they were drawing circles. Where are the circles? Somewhere there's some circles. Okay, well, some lines, drawing lines in different directions, some spheres, drawing a box from all perspectives. There's a window. That's interesting. I drew it half blue, half yellow. I'm not sure why. I guess I wanted to show warm and cold. My soda while I was waiting for my food, I think. And I like this. I like this idea. I need to do more of this. I don't know if you could see this, but I love this. I love the idea of a wall and a house. This is a neighbor's house, or a little shed that he has in the back. And I just pieced that together. I really love this. I love this. I don't know what to call it. This concept, this idea of something on the other side of a wall. And then this is a car, or that piece of a car that I drew while I waited for DoorDash. So here's more, just a little house or whatever. Ooh, an iron, a brush. I think for the toilet. Some other shapes for, I don't know, spheres. Here's a bowl, which came out really nice, I think. This is a sanitizer bottle, I think. Some glasses, a chair. There's a cart, Target cart. And I used to draw those when I was younger. It's a spray paint. There's that idea again, a wall and then a house in the back. On my cell phone is another Target cart. This one I drew fast. I was gonna finish it, but I got a DoorDash order and I couldn't. But this is my first attempt at doing this, and it came out really well, I think. It was a backpack, I think, drawn from my imagination. I don't remember what this was, but that looks pretty cool. I like that. That's a Target, just a miniature version of the Target building. Another building fixture from another restaurant that's nearby. And then the Carhartt logo for some reason. I don't know why. Here I am exploring more of the colors from the alcohol markers. Another roof studies. I think I just drew these first and then I turned them into buildings like this. See? I was gonna turn that into a building later. I was just sketching something and I turned it into a building. Here it is again, this idea of a building behind a wall. Maybe it's this whole finding shelter on the other side of something that's stopping you, or security, comfort on the other side of a boundary of some kind of obstacle. Here's a cube. I drew the cube first and then I deleted this section so that it looks like a chair or something, I don't know. And then here's where it gets a little interesting. Here I have, on June 7th, a friend of mine who owns a coffee shop invited me to perform because I play guitar. I decided to turn this into more of a journal. And I put, my friend owns a coffee shop in Riverside and he invited me to perform tomorrow. And I'm anxious. I feel I've lost my confidence. When I was younger, I could do anything. Well, it sure felt that way. That part of me seems so far away, but I feel the fear and I'm going to do it anyway. This was Saturday, June 7th, 2025. Then the next day, I actually did the gig. I actually journaled the third day, but the next day I did the gig. I made this coffee cup and I put "worried for nothing." I took my time playing each song and I slowed the tempo down for a little dramatic effect. It went well. I always think I'm going to suck and that I'm going to hit wrong notes. I did hit a few bad notes, And I did forget a few lyrics, but it was fine. It was fine. So it's just a reminder. I'm going to perform next month again, and I need to make sure that I remember what to do so I'm not anxious. And then on the 8th, actually, my nephew fell in the living room and he dislocated his elbow and actually fractured it as well. I drew the ball that he tried to balance on when he fell, and then the bone to remember what day that happened. And that very same day, my son climbed up on a glass table that we have where we had a TV on, his TV, where he would watch his, his Sesame Street and all that stuff. He climbed on the glass, broke the glass, and consequently, the freaking TV fell and broke as well. And then here I started to document what tools I was carrying on the 9th. I'm no longer carrying this, and I'm no longer carrying these with me, but they are tools that I was using here. I got some color pencils. And I was exploring what they would look like once I added water, but I discovered that this is not the right paper for that. I need to do it on watercolor paper. And that's it. That's all I've gotten so far. I started sketching in my other sketchbook, and I'm still in the process of practicing some more. I would love it if you join me on this journey. If you are a beginner artist and you want to see another beginner artist just explore with tools and stuff, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on our next adventure. Peace. Bye-bye.